Hi, my name is Sheila Brothers and I work in the Office of the Senate Counsel. This is a video to help you learn more about the curriculum workbook, which is the way that proposers put information about a curriculum for program proposals. If you have questions about this that aren't answered in the video, you're welcome to send me an email. My email address is sbrothers@uky.edu. So now if we move to the curriculum workbook, there's one design for each type of proposal. So there's a curriculum workbook for a new undergraduate degree, a change master's degree, a new graduate certificate, and so forth. When you open each curriculum workbook up, there's a chance that up here you're going to see a note that you need to enable content. Sometimes this shows up as a pop-up window. You just simply need to enable it in order to be able to insert rows later on. So the first tab gives general guidance about the curriculum workbook and how to fill it out, and gives you some general information. The next tab on the curriculum workbooks give information about admissions, graduation, and progression requirements. What we've tried to do is build in university policy into this curriculum workbook, so you don't have to worry about what you're doing if it's in violation of university policy. And then proposers and reviewers alike will know that what's being proposed is compliant with university policy. So for this one example, this is a new undergraduate degree program curriculum workbook. And so it clearly states that undergraduate students are required to maintain a 2.0 GPA. And so this sort of information is included throughout the workbook. The next tab has to do with college level requirements, and you can put these in there. Sometimes colleges have specific requirements that affect a student's time to degree, and so this is the place to put that information in there. Then there's some information down here at the bottom that gives some tips about the number of credit hours for undergraduate degrees. The next tab has information about pre-major requirements. We've also got some notes built in as well, so if someone's not sure what a pre-major requirement is, they can hover over the field that has the little red triangle in the upper right-hand corner, and it'll give you some information. One of the things that people really didn't like about the static PDF or Word forms was that there was no way to insert rows. So now with this curriculum workbook in Excel, users can simply go to Insert and insert rows, and they can have as many rows as they want. The next tab has to do with major courses. There's an opportunity to talk about major course language. In general, some of these are almost always going to be answered yes. Yes, if you have an undergraduate degree, you're going to want language in the bulletin. And they're all set up similarly as well. So there's a spot for narrative, a spot to describe the total number of major course requirements, and then a listing at the bottom. Sometimes there was confusion about guided electives and free electives, so we have hover text here as well that helps you describe what type of, what a certain elective means. When we ask you for general information, sometimes we want you to note if the course proposal that's going to be included in the program has recently been in Curriculog, or if it's still in the approval process in Curriculog. And so there's a little key that shows up if you hover over this field that gives you some guidance about how to describe if something's been in Curriculog recently or not. And this is the tab for free electives. Same thing, there's some hover text to help people see more about what these types of things are. For undergraduate degrees, there are a few extra tabs that you won't find in some of the other degree programs or in certificates. For example, for UK Core, there's a field for people to put in recommended UK Core courses in narrative language. Same goes for graduation composition and communication requirement. Users can link to the GCCR form from here, and then down here we expect them to give us a little description of the GCCR requirement, but we don't want proposers to go into too much detail because reviewers can access the actual GCCR form that's uploaded into Curriculog. And this curriculum workbook in its entirety will be uploaded into Curriculog. Here's an opportunity to put in tracks. Sometimes there's confusion about terminology. Tracks is what's used at the undergraduate level, according to the CPE, concentrations at the master's level, and specialization is the term at the doctoral level. Due to some limitations in programming at UK, however, SAP refers to all of these as options, but we're still wanting to use the correct terminology on the forms. So there's opportunities here for users to put information in about multiple tracks. This is limited to 5 tracks. That's probably going to be enough for the average proposer, but if you need more, there's a spot up here to send me an email, and I can get you some more tracks in a workbook. The second to last tab asks for summary information. This is often shared with the CPE by staff in the Office of Strategic Planning and Institutional Effectiveness. And then there's also hover text to explain generally what types of 100 series of courses are used in different types of proposals for programs. And then the last tab here is a semester by semester plan. And then if there's extra narrative information that needs to be shared at the bottom, it's available there. So if we look at a new master's degree, you'll notice this looks similar to the other one that we just showed about an undergraduate degree. Here's information about admission and progression requirements. There's a bit more text here because the graduate school has some specific requirements. And so in order to prevent proposers from having to document graduate school requirements in their proposal, we've just embedded them in the workbook. And there's opportunities to talk about transfer credit if it's going to be more strict. It explains the Plan A and Plan B requirements and allows users to clearly indicate if they're going to have a Plan A or a Plan B. And then there's discussion options about progression requirements, and then further down there's information about graduation requirements. This will look similar to the undergraduate curriculum workbook, so I'm not going to go into detail, but there's a spot for major course requirements, for guided electives, for free electives, for concentrations, and then there's summary information here for the master's degree if you're creating a new one, and then also a semester-by-semester plan. And so now this one is a little bit different. It's for a change degree program. It's for a change doctoral degree. So once again, you have to enable content. And then this page gives you some information. And you can also look up here at the header. If you tend to forget, or if you forget which version you're working on, if you're doing multiple degrees, the header information has it here. And also, if someone chooses to print these, the footer on the printed page has the file name, and then it also has the tab name in it. So if it's printed out, users can see what they're looking at without all of the guidance that's on the form. So again, for this change doctoral degree program, we've got the basic information about what the graduate school requires. We ask you if you're going to change anything about this, yes or no, and if no, move to the next worksheet. If yes, we ask you to describe what the current requirements are and then what the proposed requirements are. And then we also have hover text, which is duplicated somewhat from similar curriculum workbooks. If a new doctoral degree has a lot of the same language as a change doctoral degree. And they're set up kind of like the Senate Word forms in terms of you type in what the current requirement is and then also what the proposed requirement is. We have major course requirements, guided electives, free electives. This should look very familiar at this point. Specializations, as I mentioned earlier, specializations are an area of emphasis at the doctoral level, but SAP refers to all of these as options. Then we have summary information where folks can explain the current summary information and then what it's going to be as it's proposed and completed. And then on all of these tabs, there's a spot at the bottom for a worksheet. There's a spot at the bottom to add more information if the fields up above simply aren't sufficient. And then there's also a semester-by-semester plan. We've had some feedback indicating that there's not a good way to put summer courses into the semester-by-semester plan. And so summer courses, if you're going to use them, or if you might have something during a winter intersession, you can put it down here in the narrative. So this video has explained to you the curriculum workbooks that the Senate is going to be using, and I hope it's given you some useful information. Again, if you have questions that weren't answered here, you're free to give me a call or to email me, and my email address is sbrothers@uky.edu. Thanks for watching.